So yeah, so say like I said, welcome to our first, should I say, Friday hangout or Friday webinar. And this is basically a team webinar. This is just going to be for 45 minutes. And the idea behind this webinar is just to have some, housekeeping, get some questions answered. And guys, it's such a, how do we call it? When things start growing, such an amazing feeling that you get results, that you're doing something right. It gives you that feeling, you know for a fact that something is happening and you start seeing the benefits in your bank account. It's so cool, right? That you can actually go out there online and somebody buys something. I can just remember my first feeling when I had, the feeling when I had my first commission here in MLSP was just such an amazing feeling. And it was only for like $3. Yeah, that was someone put the trial system, and that was for $3 at the university. And we do get paid for the trial period too. But I've never even know who this person was, right? For some reason, they were on my list somewhere on my list in my Aweber account, and they probably got one of those automated emails by MLSP, and they just signed up on a 10-day trial. Now the person canceled after a while, and I know the reason why, but just the feeling that someone from my emailing list actually joined MLSP and paid for a 10-day trial was so good. And gone, the past is the past, but we learn from our mistakes and our experiences. And what I did not do was get back in touch with that person and try and build that relationship and see how much more, I could help them or assist them to get what they were looking for. But I kind of presume it's all down to the fact that it was just the first one, and I was so scared, I was so worried, or I was so shy. It was just a mixed feeling. But at the same time, I didn't think I was adequate enough to sort of get on the phone to someone who bought something and then point them in the right direction. I really didn't think so. I thought that this was not, I was not there yet to sort of tell somebody, this is the resource that I'm using that's working for me, so go check it out. And I learned from that, right? I really did learn from that. And since then it's been sort of it's something I learned over time, that it's so important and it's so key to get back to people that sign up to your list, that sign up to the business, that sign up to MLSP. It's so important to get back to them on the phone. And, at least they know that there's a human being, or they know there's some assistance somewhere when they need it, right? Which is the most important part of it. But hey, now things are picking up, and I'm so pleased, to be very honest. I'm so pleased, because hard work does pay, and MLSP definitely does work. It does work. A lot of people that come in and drop out is for a few reasons. It's one, they either think it's too hard, or two, they're not willing to work that hard to get what they want, or they just don't understand, the potential that we have aside from building our main primary business. So today is just going to be a quick, short one. It's going to be around about half an hour. And I'm going to just straight away go in and then answer some questions that I've had over and over and over again. And I'll probably start somewhere, so at least maybe you get to see it, right? And if someone was not able to catch up with this webinar, they can go in and then go ahead and then watch the replay. So I'm going to go straight in, and today I'm going to tackle 3 questions. Now, if I don't have any other questions coming in, I will not be doing that. I'll just tackle these 3 questions for you, and then give you a clearer path and a clearer direction as to what to do next, and what kind of resources are in the back office in MLSP that you can go check out and start using immediately to start getting the results that you're looking for. So there are 2 categories of people that actually join MLSP in today's market. When I when I joined a few months ago, it wasn't like that. It was just the case where most people that joined, to be very honest, when home business owners, network marketers that were looking for a solution, and that is what MLSP is for. But it's also used as an affiliate, product or affiliate service where you can promote and get paid for it. So these are the two categories of people. You're either just using it to promote your brand and your business, and you're that's all you do, using it as an educational platform, learning it and using it to build your business, or you're using it as an affiliate product. So you've got products out there that you go into the marketplace and then you promote those products to target market, and you get paid for selling those products, or you promote the membership. That's the two ways. There's another group of people that do both, right? You can build a business, build your business using MLSP as an affiliate offer. So you get paid on both sides, which is what most people like to do in MLSP. So if you're confused about, is this the right thing for me? I would say if you're in the home business industry, affiliate marketing, network marketing, whatever it is, MLSP is built exactly for that. And you can use it any way that you so please, right? But most people find it more sensible. Oh, well, I'm learning from it. So if I'm learning from it and I'm paying for the service and the education, I might as well just make extra money doing it because I'm branding myself anyway. So that way you get more results and you become more productive using the platform. So let's get started. Now, I'm just going to go straight in and tackle the first question, which is this actually not a question? This is sort of like an objection by people who are already in the team. They're already in MLSP, or they're already using it and they're finding it difficult. So I'm just going to address this. Now, too much information. And there's too much information. There's so much information in the back office. I don't know what to do. What do I do? The objection of too much information is this: if you feel like there's too much information, then you're not. I would have to say that you're not very focused. Okay, if you feel there's too much information, don't get me wrong. We all feel that way. Even now, sometimes I feel that way. I have to filter through all the information to get to the right information that I'm looking for and start using it, right? You can use all the strategies on MLSP. You can use all the information on MLSP right at a go. You cannot, because there's so much information there that is just a wealth of information. Now, this is how I tend to deal with it. I have one platform that I use to promote myself, and that's blogging. I use my blogging to brand me. So my blog brands me. Now, I'm not saying you should do the same thing, but essentially look out there. All the leaders here have blogs, or they have a place where they can call home, right? So I don't care if you put a video on it, or you post a month on it, or you post a week on it. It doesn't have to be every day. But I use my blog mainly to brand myself, right? Now, if I show you some of the results I've started getting recently just on my blog, it's such an amazing feeling that I got approached by someone who writes about MLM leaders, and they've asked me for an interview just from my blog. And it's just such a cool feeling. Imagine the amount of exposure that is going to give me, very soon when I start, promoting that, or when they start getting people going onto their blog and their website reading, because they've got a ton of traffic. This is so good. So blogging is important, but for me, that is a place where I build my brand. That's how I do it. I may have other places, other things that I may talk about, but those I use Ray Higdon's strategy called Invest, Learn, Teach. Now, Invest, Learn, Teach is to invest some time, go learn something about the strategy that you're using, or go learn something new and then teach it to your audience. So you invest time, you learn something new, and then you teach it. That is how I use the information in MLSP or in the back office. There may be a webinar, I jump on the webinar, I take some notes. I've got a bunch of notes. There are some webinars that give you like 10 pages of notes. you can't run out of notes. You keep writing and keep writing, and then the time comes you run out of content. You take that same content, refresh it, make it new, and then you put it out there as your content. So it's so, should I say, it's so key that you have to be on the webinars, you have to be on the calls. Even if you can't make it on the webinar, guys, you have to be on the daily calls. Those daily wake-up calls, they are sort of like, they have been my lifeline. I have to tell you, there were times that I thought about quitting this whole game, quitting network marketing as a whole, quitting whatever I was doing with MLSP and building my brand and forgetting about it. And then something goes, okay, I now need to listen and rewire my brain. And I plug that in and I listen to people like Mark Harbour, Dan Hockman, Keisha Bass, Erin Bird. You listen to all those people. And then I start realizing that we have almost the same story. They came from nothing into something. So I start feeling like, okay, it's not just me. They also thought and felt about quitting. I can do this, right? So those wake-up calls, if you don't listen, right, it's a lifesaver for even your home business. It is an absolute lifesaver. For me, it saved my business, right? And it saved my brand. I would have quit on my brand. I would have quit on me, long ago. But when I listen to these audios, it gives me a new sense of hope. That's one thing. Another thing is, every day when I listen to one of those, I get content. There's so much content, a wealth of information. Now, am I using all of them? I have to tell you, nobody can use all of them. Now, you must be a machine just programmed to listen and do. That means you're a robot, right? But, for me, every time I sit down and I listen, the second thing it does for me is that it allows me to get fresh content. Sometimes I just sit down and I listen 30 minutes and then I come back to it again and I listen for the next 15, 20 minutes. And all I'm doing is I'm just getting information and writing down notes. And the moment I'm off, that's a blog post for the next whole week, right? The whole week's blog post is sorted by just that one audio. There are times that I have like almost a month's worth of information on blogs or blog content from just about 1 or 2 audios. So the audios are important. You need to listen. It's so key, right? And it's so easy. You can get them on your phone, right? Get them on your phone. Download the podcast. Start using it. Start listening. And that's the best way you can make sure that you always have content and the information there. So the information in the back office, I always repurpose it. I use it for sharing content, right? If I run out of content on what I want to share, I just go into the back office. I look for a strategy or a webinar that was held like last week, and then I listen to it again and take some notes. And then I use the very same notes to create content for my audience. So if you're thinking there's too much information, it's not too much information. It's a wealth of information. That's the difference. You have to see it that way, because if you don't see it that way, you will be overwhelmed. So you have to focus on your strategy, and you have to make sure you go through the six steps, and don't rush through the 6 steps. Make sure you go over the 6 steps over and over and over again. If you don't get this clear, make sure you go through it, because when you do the 6 steps, it allows you to set your system up ready to go. And it also gives you information and makes you understand why MLSP is MLSP. It teaches you about attraction marketing, so you can actually start using it, right, in your business. So it's so key. You have to go through the 6 steps. You can't skip any of them. The first time I did join MLSP, I skipped about, 3 or 4? I rushed through it. I did it, but I rushed through it. And then I had to come back again and do it again. But then it was late, right? So when I came back the second time, I had to sit down and go, okay, right, this is the most important part, is setting up the system and making sure everything is working well. I sat down and I went through it one step at a time. There's no need to rush, guys. You don't have to rush this. You have to allow the process to happen, but you've got to work hard. So if you're saying there's too much information, there's not too much information. There's a wealth of information. See it with that understanding. When you go through your 6 steps, you will have your strategy that you want to use. Based on that strategy, you can pick information from the back office, and then you can share it with your audience. You learn and then you teach. You learn and then you teach. The ones you implement are the ones that are mainly meant for your strategy that you've chosen. So if you've chosen anything on Facebook marketing, for example, you want to make sure that every information you're picking from Facebook, you're implementing it first. You're using it to, sharpen what you're doing, right? And then while you're doing that, you want to make sure that, you're actually also focusing on sharing content to your audience. So you can be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So if you're doing Facebook, for example, you can take that Facebook, and then when you do that Facebook strategy, you go in, you invest time to learn, you do it, and then you go teach it, because that's your main strategy. So leverage the information that's there, leverage it and use it for your content, for your audience. People will thank you for it. There are people that thank me every day for the information I share. So you have to make sure that you share that information, and people you're serving the community, right? That way you're using MLSP the way it was built to be used. So that's question number 1, point number 1 that I've just dealt with. Now, point number 2. Now, again, there's another objection I've had a few times. After speaking to a few people, they go, do I really need MLSP? Because maybe they've seen some system out somewhere, or they have some shiny object syndrome going on in their head, and they think, oh my God, this one looks shiny. Let me go to this one. Or this one looks so cool. Let me go to this one. Or this one, they have a nice sales page. Oh, wow. Or this one, the funnel is just so cool. Oh, wow. I'm just going to stay on the funnels. Now, let me ask you one question. Why do you think that all these top earners, apart from all I've seen some of the leaders in MLSP, sometimes they use ClickFunnels. They know the worth of this thing, and they're still using MLSP. Why is that? They're still here. They hang their hats here. Why? Because it's a great community, right? So you have to see MLSP as the value it gives you. It's an educational platform. First of all, if you look at MLSP's logo, when you go to the homepage, and you see My Lead System Pro, and beneath it they would write creating tomorrow's leaders today. You have to understand that is the goal of MLSP, is to raise leaders. Now I'm going to start mentioning names. The Ray Higdens, some top guys that are in the industry today. They have been through MLSP one way or the other, right? And I've heard Eric Worre speak in MLSP on the phone. I've heard Tol Fakoni speak on the phone for training. We've got some of his trainings in the back office. There are some big names out there that have been through the doors of MLSP, or been there, or gone through the process of MLSP. So these guys do an amazing job. So if you think, do I really need it? Well, then maybe you don't, right? Maybe you don't, right? But why do we have to use MLSP? It's really simple: to raise you as a leader and put you in front of people. So when you go out there, people see you as the leader that you are, right? Creating a lead, I always tell people, right? Creating a lead capture page doesn't mean you know how to market, right? Learning one particular strategy on traffic doesn't mean you know how to market online. Or buying solo ads doesn't mean you know how to market. You can do all these little tiny things all over the place. There are some people that teach you how to do Facebook marketing. There are some people that teach you how to do X and X. There are some people that teach you how to do cold calling. All that information is out there. Now, this is where MLSP makes a whole bunch of sense. For me personally, they bring all this information together. Everything fits in, and they show you what leads to what. They help you connect the dots. You can connect the dots, right? I've tried to use systems. I've tried to use all those bunch of things. Trust me, I've been there, right? But what I don't see in all those systems is they don't have a huge community like MLSP. And a lot of people try to, copy this, but they don't get far. MLSP has some great form of community that makes this whole thing gel, and they teach you how to connect these dots. What's going on here? What's going on here? Every information that's floating around, we can help you bring it together. Now, isn't that worth it more than the membership you would be paying? Isn't that worth it more than anything else? Now, for me, the daily calls are worth it than anything else, because I know what the daily calls have done for me, right? And I have to be honest, sometimes I don't listen every day. But then I go back in, I go, wow, I need to listen to this. I go listen. And then as far as I'm listening, it's like my energy levels are high, like I'm on a high, So that is a value you get. It's not the fact that you can create this here, create fan page here, create that there. Oh, I can create a fan page so I can go do it myself. Yeah, cool. Oh, I can go learn how to create a blog so I can do it myself. That's fine. That's not the point. You're missing the point. If your point is, do I really need it because I can go do a lead capture page somewhere for free? Here's what you're missing. You're missing the leadership. You're missing someone helping you connect the dots. You're missing the daily wake-up calls. You're missing the community. You're missing examples, the motivation. You're missing, the real hands-on, teaching that people help you from step 1 to step 2, step 3. You miss that piece of the puzzle. You can go build anything anywhere, but you will not get anything as good as this, right? And I've bought, trust me, I bought systems on system, push button software, push button this. When Facebook came out with the fun pages, we were doing all these funky pages where we will capture people's details the moment they look at your fan page, right? Literally, the moment they click on your fan page, they visit it, we captured their details. We had all these crazy cool stuff going on, and it was buzzing, right? The list was being built. People were buying one push button software. But the problem with that is they don't last. None of them, I've not seen any of them outlast MLSP, and they've been around since 2008, right? And in internet years, that's a lot of time. That's like 10, 11 years. Still going strong, still raising leaders. And look at it this way. Most of the leaders that are in MLSP, everyone has one particular unique scale. And all of them seem to be doing great, right? Someone is doing just cold calling. Someone is doing just Twitter. Someone is only doing Facebook. Someone is doing only Instagram. Someone is doing only Facebook. Someone is doing only blogging. Look at Ray Higdon, just blogging, right? And that's how he started in MLSP. And all these leaders tend to find sort of like it, for some reason, they make things happen and things start happening. It's not so much of the strategy you choose. It's so much of where you belong. That is what it is. It's not the strategy, it's where you belong. It's who's pointing you where. So, guys, if you're thinking that way, I mean, if you ask me that question, this is my answer to you. If you give me that option, this is my answer to you. However, you still got a choice, right? You still got a choice. What's good for your business? What's going to work for you? It's not going to work for everybody. It's not for everybody. Not everything is for everybody. So that's the deal. It may not be for you, but for me personally, I think it's for everybody. It's for any person on online doing any form of business. So I've talked on that enough. Right, I've got another one here, which says, where do I start? Where do I start? I don't know where to start. There's so much information. Where do I start? Well, you have to start from the 6 steps. Go through the 6 steps. Go back to the 6 steps. That's where you start. You start from the 6 steps. When you get into the system, if you find yourself missing or you find yourself lost, go back to step 1. It's always there. When you click new start here now, you click that one, all that information is going to show up again. Go through it again to give you the clarity. Where do I start? Go back to the 6 steps. That's what I do. Well, once in a while, when I find myself doing so many other things, I just sit down. This is personally what I do. I sit down and I have a look at my strategy. I review my strategy and I start thinking, why did I choose this strategy? What did I want to do with this strategy? Have I changed strategies in MLSP? Oh, yes, I have. I have to be honest. I have. Because I see this one doing this one and I go do it. I see that one doing Facebook and I go do it. And I'm on a Twitter training, I go do it. I'm on Facebook training, I go do it. I'm on a blogging course, I'm going to do it. I'm on this, I go do it. So it's all over the place, right? But you need to choose one strategy. Like MLSP make it so clear in the 6 steps. Choose one strategy until you are generating 10 leads a day. From that strategy, then you can branch off to another strategy. So if you ask me that, I would say go back to the 6 steps, go through it again. Or if you've chosen a strategy and you find yourself wavering, you might want to think, can I do this strategy for another 2 years? Can I do that for another 6 months? Can I do it for another month? Can I do it for another day? If your answer is no, then you have to sit down and rethink. There's a training by Lisa Torres. If you have mastery and if you've got the library, you can find it. It's about how to hit L5. I forgot, but here was the information in there. When people join team, you need to figure out what strategy works best for you. And I wrote it down somewhere in my notes, but that notebook is somewhere there, right? And if you're an outgoing person, you're sort of like the ego type of person, and you're like always out there, you might want to consider something like video, right? Like video marketing. Go on YouTube or video live, Facebook Lives, or something like that. If you're the introverted type, you don't like people knowing about your issue, you just want to keep yourself to yourself, probably videos may not be for you because you feel uncomfortable with it. Or you might want to try something that's a bit different, like Twitter, right? So it depends on your kind of personality, and then you can choose a strategy that you believe would work for you. But the most important message is it's got to work and sit in well with you, right? You might try blogging, right? People that do blogging personally is for everyone. So if you're going to use blogging as your main strategy, then you have to sit down and understand exactly how blogging works, and you have to do it almost virtually every week. You have to make sure you're consistent on it and all that good stuff, right? There's some people that don't use blogging as their main strategy, but they still blog and they take time with it. Maybe they blog once a month or once a week. You just take time with it. But the idea is, if it's your main strategy, you want to go in and be a pro at it. So depending on what your personality is, you want to go out and check. If you're an introverted type, you don't want to go for things that put you out, your face out there. Some people are just so much camera shy, but all the leaders are doing videos anyway, so you might as well suck it up and do it, right? So you just have to choose the strategy that goes with their personality and stick with it, because that way it's easier, it flows. You can learn more about the strategy. So that was question number 3. Where do I start? Go back to the 6 steps and go through it again, or revisit your strategy again and then go through your strategy again and try and see where you're missing stuff. Go for trainings in the back office. Go in, and there's a wealth of information. Go check out trainings on, if you're a Facebook person, go back to all the Facebook trainings that have been happening in the past. That is, you get that if you're mastery, but if you're not, then you have to make sure that you're on every single of those calls or those webinars, and make sure that you're actually tuned in and listening to all the trainings. Or just go buy Michelle Pascalito's course and start using it. Simple as that. All right. So this is the last one I'm going to deal with. I'm going to wrap it up and call it an evening. Last one is, what do I focus on? What do I focus on? Wow. It's kind of like saying the whole thing over again. What do I focus on? If I get that question clearly, I'm going to answer it in a few ways that I understand it. I didn't point you to the resources yet. I'll point you to the resource. But before I forget this resource, let me say it now. Diane Hoffman did a training on the last call she did with Keisha Bass. It was a Tuesday hangout. She did it with Keisha Bass, Who was the other one? Keisha Bass hosted it with Dan Hockman. Yeah, she hosted it with Dan Hockman and some two other ladies. Oh, come on, come to me. Jesse Jackson or something like that. I think it's Jesse Jackson. I'm not sure. But hey, you want to go see that webinar? It was a Tuesday hangout. Go check it out. And Dan Hockman talks about the 3 main things to focus on in this business. And when she said that, I went back into what I was doing, my daily routine, and I'm going to show you. And I realized that, wow, I've actually, most of the leaders have been doing this. And I'm going to show you this in a minute. Now, if you see here, I don't know if I can zoom properly. Now, this is daily routine that I copied from Lisa Torres, right? But the writings are backwards, actually. And she's got something that she does. As you can see, morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and she's got the action plan there. And then evening, she's got it there. And Tuesday, Thursday, she's got it there. But I can't show you the elements in there. But if you want this, just inbox me and I'll be able to share it with you. But here's the key, the 3 keys. I will try my possible best to remember all of it, but I can explain them to you. The first one is to create. And the create is creating content on a daily basis, right? It's to create content. Creating the content doesn't mean blogging, right? Creating content means anything you put out in front of your audience. It could be a Facebook post. It could be a video. It could be a blog post. It's content. It's content that some people will get value from. So you want to create content. This is what you focus on a daily basis. So you create content, you create, and you connect. And the connecting with people is you need to connect with fresh new people. Get new people, go out in the community, talk to people, right? We're in a people's business, so we got to talk to people, right? For me personally, what I do is I go out and I try and connect with 10 new Facebook friends a day, right? Try and send 10 new messages a day or follow 10 new people, whatever you want. Just go connect with new people in your business or go connect with new people in your circles. What I've started doing is going into my MLM company and I'm connecting with these people, not because I want to sell them something, but I have the idea that I want to connect with more people and make more friends. I'm on a target to get 5,000 quality friends on Facebook. So I just want to connect with people on a daily basis. So connect with 10 people. Personally, I do 10 people a day. I used to do 20 and it was so much work because what I do is I message them. So you might want to go into that. And to do that, you can go check out Ed Zimbabwe's training on Facebook, Facebook, how to build your business on Facebook, something along those lines. I think he's taking it off now. So what you have to do, you have to take the coaching program to get that because it takes you through all the 6 steps and how you can utilize it. But one of the main elements in there is how you can connect with more people and expose your business or MLSP to more people. So that's one of the main strategies, main elements in there that I find very, very useful and very helpful. So you want to go check that course, the coaching course out. Then the last thing you want to do, I think I call it communicate. I don't know if that's what she called it, is communicate with my audience. So that's my emailing list. I've got people on my list that I talk to. Now, my emailing list, really, I use Aweber, and on my list, I've got the MLSP pre-written emails that's uploaded on there, right? And I did that way the first time. These emails are written by professionals, so I don't want to do anything to it. I just go through and I follow the settings and I change a few bits of wording here and there to make it sound like me, but the main element of the emails remain the same. So I've scheduled it to go out every 3-4 days. But then what I also do is when I create content on my blog, I also share it. I communicate it with my list. I get to send it to my list and they get to read the content. If I create a video, I get to share it with my list and they can go watch the video. Sometimes I share my Facebook lives, and sometimes I invite them to my Facebook live. So I keep communicating with them to keep them fresh and to keep them my name in their mind. And they know Andy is, you know, one of the guys who sends me stuff. All right, and I like reading his posts. Not all of them do, because you know. Right. So these are the three things that, you know, I think that we should focus on. Create content, connect with people, and communicate with your audience, or communicate with people that are already on your list. This is the last step. Again, don't quote me. This is how I utilize it. That's probably not the name she used, but probably not the word she used, but this is how I understood it, and that's how I use it. So go watch that training, right? If it's still in the back office, go watch it. If you've got mastery, you should have the recording there somewhere. So create new content every day. You know, connect with people every day, and I will connect with 10 people a day. If you don't know where to connect with people, just go check out Facebook. Follow people on Facebook. Make more friends on Facebook, not because you want to sign them up to your business, but you just want to connect with them. Find quality people to connect with. And the last thing you want to do is consistently communicate with your audience. So this is my Friday hangout all done, and I hope you got some value out of this. Please get your questions ready. If you got any questions that I can address, if I can, I'll just point you to where you can find it in the back office. Some of the L5s, get on the calls, get on the webinars, listen to the daily wake up calls, and you will get so much clearer. Every day I listen, every day I get clearer. It gets clearer to me. And one thing that I do that is working for me recently and is keeping my head focused, right, is my visualization and my meditation. Guys, you've got to visualize, you've got to meditate, you've got to visualize on the goal to make it clear. And when it's clear, you get focused and you know what you want, and you're not scattered. You know exactly what you're looking for. If you tell me what I want next year, I can tell you in one sentence. Right? So that's it. That's me done. Please feel free to send all your questions to me or inbox me on Facebook. Whatever you got to do, just do it. Let's stay in touch. Let's get prosperous together. Let's build that wealth. Thank you so much. Love you guys. I'm going to sign out now. Ciao.